It's April the 22nd Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, April the 21st. It is Easter Monday, if that's the thing. And we are here to handicap the full slate of MLB action for Tuesday, April the 22nd. Joining me from somewhere in New York is Mr. Scott Reichel. Scott, good evening. Happy Easter. Is that a thing we say? What's happening?
Yeah, can't complain. It definitely was a fun sports day yesterday. I don't know if you're involved in any of the hockey or the basketball or anything like that, but it is playoff time around here. I know you were busy with some Easter stuff, and I don't want to bring up some bad memories for you, so I'll just not bring that up at all. But can't complain. Definitely a fun overall couple of days, fun weekend, and I'm looking forward to the, of course, baseball card over the next week.
Yes, yeah, it was a good sport weekend. It was a busy sport weekend. There was Premier League all weekend. The Championship pretty much reached its conclusion over the weekend. Burnley and Leeds got promoted today. Newcastle got smashed, which I assume is what you were referring to. And then I had to go and spend time with my family, which is just as bad as Newcastle getting beat. So, but we're nearly out the other side now, back to a little bit of normality. Tomorrow, I have dipped in and out the baseball over the weekend. Done all right. I basically just faded the Pirates all weekend against the Guardians, and it just kept working. And when I didn't have loads of time to get stuck into it, I thought, I'm just not going to change. Even when Skeens is pitching for them, it just means they lose at a bigger price. It's great. It's not a problem at all. It's quite a straightforward system. They never score any runs. So we'll get to that in a little while. But yeah, we've got a new week starting this week. Yeah, looking forward to it. We're going to kick off with, we've got a full slate. There was one early game today. Was today is it Patriots Day, Scott? Have I got that right?
It was the marathon.
Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, I know there's one game that always catches me off guard when Boston seem to start at 9 a.m. Or something silly, but Boston beat the White Sox 4-2 earlier today, but nothing else really to go on. All the Monday games don't start for about an hour. The Tuesday games are the same. We've got no baseball at all. We kick off with a 6:10 Eastern first pitch between the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Guardians. I was on the wrong page. I thought I'd got that wrong for a minute. It is Will Warren for the Yankees and Tanner Bibee or Bibee for the Guardians. It's a match on the books, -110 each of two, and the total sits at 7.5. I thought that total was far too low. I was surprised at how low that total was. We've got two starting pitchers here. You might be able to tell me a bit more about Warren if I've got him wrong. You're the Yankees guy, but we've got two starting pitchers here with an ERA north of 5. Warren certainly struggled on the road. So I'm just not very keen on betting him in this position so far until he shows me something different. Bibee's game log is a mess. It's the stuff all over the place. You have to really try and concentrate hard to sort of bring it back into focus. There's just bad stuff going on everywhere. He's got one half-decent start, a little short start against the Royals. Out of the 4 times he's gone to the mound so far, he's given up 7 home runs, which doesn't bode well, particularly against this Yankees offense as well. So both of those pitchers I wasn't keen on. You look at the stats; they're both 3-0-1 to the over. So I just felt like it was safest to go over, especially that. The only thing, I don't know if the weather's bringing that total down at all, Scott, but the total looks low for me, 7.5. I'll happily take the over.
Yeah, the weather looks fine for tomorrow. But for this game, I agree with you about the over. I'll go with Cleveland, though. You mentioned Bobby's bad numbers. However, I will point out he's only made one start at home, and it was that Royal start where he gave up no runs in 4 2/3. So at home, at least he was okay. The others were him getting shelled on the road. But you're looking at Warren, and I don't think he's any good. His ERA is north of 7. On the road, I think it's around 8, actually. And you're looking at Warren, who, once again, I think is a definitely inferior pitcher. Bobby's at least shown something over the years. I know that he can be a solid pitcher. Warren might not even be a major league caliber arm, so I'm going to pass on Warren. Give me the Guardians at a cheap price, and I am going to go with the over with you in that game.
I don't mind the Guardians. Obviously, I just said I faded the Pirates this weekend a lot, which meant I watched the Guardians a few times. Yeah. And their offense is still decent. They've got some power. Manzardo. Looks like he can do bits and bobs.
Clase, though, can't pitch anymore. Clase forgot how to pitch.
Well, they used him for the third day running, which I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
And I was mildly furious when he blew that lead. And then I got over the line in extras. But yeah, the third day on the spin, I just thought was unnecessary. They had a 4-1 lead, and Pittsburgh couldn't hit anybody. So why they risked Clase for a third day straight, I thought was a bit peculiar, Scott.
Yeah, I agree.
But they got away with it in the end. 6:40 Eastern first pitch sees the San Diego Padres at the Detroit Tigers. Nick Pivetta for the Padres, and it will be Jack Flaherty for the Tigers. Another close one on the books. -105 San Diego, -115 Detroit. Total again is 7.5, Scott.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the under in this one at 7.5. I like both starters. Flaherty was actually rumored to go today, and they bumped him back to tomorrow. Pivetta, though, has been good. I've been a bit skeptical of him in the past, but he's been pretty solid. The season, 3-1, 1.57 ERA. Detroit offensively has been okay this season, but I think we agree that on paper, not exactly the most intimidating lineup. San Diego's been fine this season, but they're mostly great at home. I know Arise got stretchered off yesterday. We'll see how long he's out for. But the Padres, for reference, are 16-6, but they're actually 4-5 on the road. They're very good in Petco, not great in other ballparks. However, the Tigers are favored in this game, and I do think that I would have preferred taking the Tigers at a better price, in my opinion. I think I'll pass on Detroit for the side. I like the under, though. I see a very low-scoring game, 3-2 type, but I think, once again, it comes down to the last inning or so. Nail-biter comes down to maybe one swing, but I'll go with the under in this game at 7.5.
Okay, so I reached the same conclusion, Scott, that this comes down to a late. Someone's going to win it late, and I preferred the Padres bullpen. It was a factor in my handicap here because Pavetta's been great. Good length, 0.83 whip is a good pointer, but Flaherty's been fine as well. And Flaherty's faced good opposition, home to the Yankees and at the Dodgers. So there was very, very little to choose between them. Starting pitcher-wise and in terms of the offensive output. So my tiebreaker was a slight preference for the Padres pen. So I would take San Diego at -105. You need to tune in this week to the SGPN NFL Draft Show. Ooh, that's exciting. Live watch party for the entire round one of the NFL Draft, featuring all your favourite hosts and fans from SGPN. Tune in Thursday at 8 p.m. YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. That's youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Scott, have you got a team? Are you doing the live draft?
Yes, I'm going to be doing it for the Jets, and I might sign up for another team at some point later on. I'm assuming that you don't get asked to do that because you don't follow the American football?
Scott, you know me well enough. Do I need to be asked to worm my way into something?
No, because you're wearing a Panthers hat. That's why I was asking if you're doing the Panthers.
Exactly, yeah. I saw the sign-up sheet and I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to write my name down because I messaged Barry. I said, should we go and do this? We like to stay relevant. We've got very much had the fear of missing out. And who doesn't love the London Jags?
So did you pick the Panthers? Did you pick the Panthers because you had the hat already, or is that a pure coincidence?
No, we picked the Jags, not the Panthers.
Okay, because you're wearing a Panthers hat. I wasn't sure if you were trying to set it up.
I'm wearing a Newcastle Nighthawks cap.
My bad. Okay. From this angle, it looked like a Panther.
Yeah. It's got that nice that nice blue little glow about it. No, we're doing the London Jags, and we know nothing about it.
Okay.
So AI will be doing the heavy lifting. As long as we say funny things in a silly accent, Sean and Scott love that. So that's me and Barry's plan. Kevin's joined us in the chat. Kev was first in, and Nathan is joining in. Nathan's in the dungeon. Yeah, love it. And Lube Gaming as well. Welcome along. If you are in the chat, by all means, say hello and give us some of your picks. We're always glad if they help. We move along to a 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the Cincinnati Reds and the Miami Marlins, which is Nick Martinez for Cincinnati taking on Edward Cabrera of Miami. Miami are small underdog at home, plus 105. Cincinnati minus 125. And the total here is 8.5. There's a real pattern of mediocrity for Nick Martinez. 4-3, 4-3 has been his earned run total in his 4 games. 4 losses next to his name as well. Edward Cabrera's had 2 starts so far, and he hasn't had it yet. Now, it's too early to write him off. I don't want to write him off, but I want to bet him either. Both teams are... Miami, we thought sort of traditionally were an under team. Miami are 57% to the over this year against righties. Both teams are 57% to the over against righties. Now, the Reds did go berserk on Sunday night, scored 25 runs, I think, against the Orioles. Slight outlier there. Jorge Mateo and everybody else was having a little go at pitching. But I just fancied runs here. The overs is a trend and not hugely sold on both pitches, Scott. So I'll take over 8.5.
Yeah, by the way, just to correct you, it was 22 runs, but same thing. They won the game by a ton anyway. Either way, for this game, give me the over. I think both pitchers have not been very good. Cabrera, I know, has been hyped up, but I don't think he's looked sharp at all. Martinez, we know, was not very good. That's why he bounced around to so many teams. Then randomly was good at the end of last year, and then reverted back to being Nick Martinez, so I don't really trust either pitcher to do anything in this one. Cincinnati offensively, though, was good over the weekend against Baltimore, besides scoring 22 in one game. Miami offensively has been fine. They had a nice Sunday win against the Phillies. I do want to ask you a trivia question, though. For Cabrera's first 2 starts this season, do you want to guess how many stolen bases he's allowed?
Oh, so it's not none, so it's got to be 11.
That's way too much. No, that's crazy.
No.
2 starts? That's a
2
bit much.
starts. Oh, yeah.
2 starts.
I was good with 4
I'll let you
starts.
recalibrate that. I'll let you get another guess. How many stolen bases in 2 starts?
8.
So it's allowed 6.
Okay.
So you're going up against Ellie. Have fun with that. You have a lot of speed there in Cincinnati. That could be a problem. It wasn't as bad as the Brewers stealing 9 bases against Oakland on Saturday or yesterday, but that was definitely something. I don't know if you noticed that. Brewers stole 6 bases in the first inning yesterday in their game against Oakland. So that or the A's. So there you go. Point is, though, I'll go with the over in this one. I like the Ellie stolen bases. You might see a bunch of guys run. Cabrera, though, just can't hold runners. And Miami's allowed a bunch of stolen bases all year, which can be a problem because you can generate more up at bats with guys in scoring position. But with Martinez not being good, Cabrera not being good, and not holding runners against a pretty fast team, I see a pretty solid run environment here. Give me the over in this one. For the side, it's really tough because both pitchers have really not been good. But I'd rather take plus money out of the 2 pitchers I don't like. So I guess I'll go with Miami, but I prefer the over in the game.
The Reds did score 24 runs, Scott, not 22. Could you stop issuing me duff information?
I think you said 25, so we were both wrong, actually.
24?
It was 24, my bad. I think you said 25, so whatever, my bad.
I did not. Edge Boost.
I'm pretty sure you did. I think you did. But...
Edge Booster got you covered for all sorts of things. If you've ever had your deposit blocked at 2 a.m. Before the shot at the tables, if, like Scott, you need to move up to $250,000 a day, use your Edge Boost Visa debit card to do it. 24/7 for instant deposits, unlimited withdrawals, up to 0.5% cashback rewards, no usage fees, no minimum balance. Edge Boost is a debit account, makes it easy to get started, no credit checks. Simply verify your identity. Go to www.edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. That's www.edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. Your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs and the NFL draft, if you want to get your money down on the Jags in there. the MyBookie money bag for the true DGens. Loads of locations available. Crypto payouts are lightning fast. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Next game on the card is a 6:45 Eastern first pitch between the Baltimore Orioles and the Washington Nationals. Dean Kramer draws the start for Baltimore. For Washington, it will be the left-handed pitcher Mitchell Parker. Washington plus 115, Baltimore minus 135. The total, Scott, is 9.5.
Yeah, so I could make some arguments about Parker being better than Kramer, which I think we'd all agree with, but I'm not even going to bother doing that. Baltimore just sucks. Like, why would I want to lay money with Baltimore right now? You could argue the pitchers are kind of irrelevant. Of course, Kramer, who was good the last time out, you could argue maybe found something. And I know Parker's been great, 2-1, 1.85 ERA. But ignoring the actual pitchers for a second, why is Baltimore favored at minus 135? This team is awful. They have the worst starting pitching in the league. The offense has been underwhelming compared to what we expected. I'm just wondering, because I'm looking at the Orioles game in, game out, besides allowing 24 runs in the last game against the Reds, they are just not playing well at all. And Washington's not good, I'll admit it, but a 9-12 team is favored on the road against a 9-13 team with the worst pitcher? I don't get this at all. So I'll go with the Nationals at plus money. By the way, Mal, you're on mute before you try to talk. I do want to ask you, though, do you want to go with Baltimore or do you want to go with the Nationals? Because I do think that the Nationals are right now comparable and the better pitcher. So give me the Nationals plus money.
First line of my notes was the first line of your notes. Why would you take that price on Baltimore? How can you take minus 135 on Kramer? You just can't. It's madness. This was purely instinct for me. I didn't have to work hard on this at all. Kramer was a no. Baltimore was a no. Parker was a yes, and Washington was a maybe. So that sort of tilted it to the Washington side. I mean, Parker's kept Philadelphia and Arizona quiet already this season. He's got a 111 whip, which is fine. He's been okay against Baltimore in the past. In Washington, are above 500 at home. Baltimore are below 500 on the road. And finally, the final nail in the coffin, Baltimore hitting 184 against left-handed pitching. So it was just ticks and boxes all over the place for the Nationals as a plus 115 dog. Lou wants me to tip up Jake Berger for something. But I've got no Jake Berger chat tonight, so I'll say Jake Berger once more, Lou, and then we can get on with the rest of the show.
I've been looking for him all year. I can't find Jake Berger. I've been looking for him. I don't see him on any of the Twitter posts about home runs being hit. It's been quiet the whole year, and I hate it. Just want to throw that out there.
Through actual Jake Berger or through my love of Jake Berger?
No, I'm just saying I like Jake Berger too, but I just hate how little I've gotten to talk about him this season because he hasn't done anything.
Well, we've definitely cashed the over now on the amount of times we were going to mention Jake Berger on the show. 6:45 Eastern first pitch is the Seattle Mariners at the Boston Red Sox. Bryce Miller for Seattle and a season debut for my guy Brian Bello for Boston, who are minus 130. Seattle plus 110. The total here is 9.5. Now, I like Brian Bello. It's not a secret. Have you watched the Clubhouse on Netflix, Scott, the Boston thing?
I don't watch anything that is basically not like an immediate sporting event. So no, I have not watched it. Is it good?
It's all right. It's mildly entertaining. Bello gets quite a lot of airtime in that. It seems like an easy guy to root for. I couldn't take him minus 130 on season debut, though. I don't think. I mean, there's not much between these two teams anyway. Bryce Miller hasn't done a lot wrong. And Bello minus 130 before you've seen him do much. Miller's improved his last two starts, 10 innings, 1 earned run against Cincinnati and Texas. Has had multi-walks, and both of those might be an angle there. Struck out 8 last time, which was positive. Bello did finish last season really, really well. Finished it strong. Had a setback in spring training, which has delayed his debut until today. I'm not really thrilled about betting him at this price. The lineups are okay. I don't like the Seattle bullpen. I think Bello and the Seattle bullpen can get us over 9.5, Scott.
Yeah, I actually think I disagree with you. I'll go with the under for this total. Mainly just because it just comes down to Seattle's numbers being skewed offensively over the last couple of days. They beat Toronto twice in a row. They scored 8 runs in 2 straight games. The last game they were very good in, they went to extras and scored 4 runs in extras, courtesy of a Tellez grand slam. Actually, no, it was 5 runs in extra innings. So they only had 3 runs in that game. So once again, the number's a bit skewed. You're looking at them also scoring 11 against the Reds, had a comeback in the 9th inning, scored 4 in the 10th. So they've had a couple of extra inning outbursts, but not really much during the actual game. It just feels too high to me. I understand that Bello has not pitched yet this season. We'll see how long he goes, but you're looking at Miller, who's been fine so far this season, 21 innings. He has a 3.43 ERA. Last 2 starts, though, 10 innings, 1 run. So he's been better lately. But Boston offensively has really not been that good. Scored 4 runs today against the Whites, 4 runs in the loss yesterday. They really haven't done much, and I do think this total feels pretty high with Seattle being involved. The wind is blowing out to right field, but not that heavily. Like, I thought this total seemed like it was going to be blowing out heavily, and it wasn't. It feels too high with the Red Sox not hitting that well right now. Shout out to Trevor Story, though, who's actually been doing pretty well. And Seattle's been doing some damage, but in extras mostly. I think it's a bit high. I see this game finishing somewhere around 7 or 8. Yes, you could argue the bullpen might blow it for Boston. Definitely true. But I don't know. It feels too high to me. I'll go with the under 9.5.
Okay, a little bit of a crossfire there for the first time in Seattle against Boston. We will go up to the top of the page for a 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies, and it will be Griffin Canning for the Mets. Plus 105 New York, minus 125 Philadelphia. Total, Scott, is 7.5.
So this game I thought was very difficult to pick because on one hand, I think Sanchez is better than Canning. Canning's been good, though. Shout out to Canning. The problem is that the Phillies really not been that good on the road, and the Mets are unbeatable at home, as the Mets are 9-1 so far in Citi Field, and they're also getting plus money. Like, that's the tricky part, is that the Mets have been so good at home, and they're getting plus money, which makes them feel like an auto bet, but I really do think Sanchez is better. And Canning threw over 100 pitches in his last outing. So I'm a bit concerned about arm fatigue maybe for him. I think I'll go Philly, but I'm probably not going to bet this game. I don't see much value either way. If you want to blindly take the Mets once again at a good price at home, I get it, but Canning off 100 pitches, not the best spot in my opinion with Sanchez, who I think struck out 12 guys last start. I'll go with Sanchez at a pretty cheap money line price.
Yeah, I really wanted to follow Sanchez, and seeing him at minus 125, I kind of made my mind up pretty quickly. Canning has been okay, but you do get the fear he's getting away with it a little bit. The off-putting stats here are that the Mets are 9-1 at home. But I just think that makes Philly a decent price. That makes the price for Sanchez. We shouldn't be seeing Sanchez at this price too often, really. So I will take Sanchez while I can at a price of minus 125. Next up, we go to a 7:15 Eastern first pitch between the St. Louis Cardinals and Lube Gaming's Atlanta Braves. Andre Palante for the Cardinals, Spencer Strider for the Braves, who are minus 222. The Cards are plus 190. The total here is 8.5. I kind of fell into the trap last week of wanting to get Strider on debut. I thought he'd be all right. And he wasn't terrible, but they did get beat. And I'm quite interested in Palante. He's made that change from the bullpen into a starter. His line ended up looking a little bit average last time at the Mets, but he actually pitched well, and he had a couple of good outings before that. Strider's presence wasn't enough to get the win last time at minus 150 against the Blue Jays. He hasn't got great career numbers against St. Louis either. And the Braves are just really difficult to want to back at minus 222. What, they're sitting at 8-13?
Yeah.
You want to leave me over $2 on them, Scott?
To be fair, they're 8-13, but they are 6-2 at home.
Yeah, granted, okay. I just think the price is far too prohibitive. There's too many question marks. I would punt the Cardinals here at plus 190.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit too big. I understand the argument of wanting to back Strider. He was okay in his first start. Shout out to him, though. He's the only pitcher this year to give up a home run to Vlad Jr., so that's something. the only guy to do that. But anyway, I think you're looking at Palante pitching well. He's been solid, and he also goes distance in a lot of outings. You're looking at his numbers this season: 2-1, 3.22 ERA, 22 and a third innings though. He's gone at least 6 innings in back-to-back starts. He was not the greatest against the Mets, but he's been fine. I think I also like the under in this game. I think Strider can go well. The Cardinals, though, are awful on the road. 1-9 on the road. So the Braves have been performing well. We saw the Cardinals get swept by the Mets over the weekend. It was a 4-game set, too. The only game that was close was the Lindor walk-off. Every other game felt pretty lopsided in favor of the Mets. I think that this is going to be an ugly game. I don't mind the under. The Braves could win this by 1. That wouldn't shock me either. So maybe Cardinals plus 1.5 if you want to go for that approach. But Strider only going 5 innings as well in his first outing. I don't know how long he's going to actually go. If you're going to price him at minus 220 or so, I needed at least 6 or 7 innings guaranteed. And I'm just not guaranteed to get that. So I'll go with the Cardinals, once again, plus 1.5. But I think I like the under as well. Kind of daring the Cardinals offense to do anything on the road, which they have not done all season long. So give me the under and give me the Cardinals plus 1.5.
Okay, we don't very often give the underdog plus 1.5. It's a nice angle. 7:40 Eastern Time is the Colorado Rockies at the Kansas City Royals. It will be Ryan Feltner for Colorado and left-handed pitcher Chris with a K Bubic for Kansas City, who are minus 208. The Rockies plus 180, and the total is 8.5. We had one underdog there, Scott, in the Cardinals. Can you make a case for the Rockies here?
The case to be made is that the Royals are not very good. The problem is the Rockies are 4-17, and they're 1-11 on the road. So no, I will not make a case for the Rockies. You can argue that once again the price might be a bit large. If you want to bet on Colorado, I'm rooting for you. But I think there are 2 teams I officially wrote off this season when it comes to not wanting to put money on. That is the Rockies and the White Sox, obviously. Have fun. Not going to be me. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather maybe consider backing Feltner if you want to go for first 5 or if you want to go for some type of approach there. But the Rockies just can't win games. This team, I know the White Sox I predicted to lose 120 last year. The Rockies probably lose 110 plus. Like, this team is really, really bad. So I don't want to back them, but Kansas City can't hit either. The Royals, by the way, fun fact, have scored less than 4 runs in regulation, so not counting extra innings. They have scored less than 4 runs in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 10-1, 11-1, 12-1. 12 of their last 13 games, they scored less than 4 runs in 9 innings. These teams can't hit. Once again, total guy here today. Give me the under in this game. You've scored less than 4 runs in 9 innings in like, once again, 12 of your last 13. Are you serious? That's embarrassing. Give me the under. I think 8.5 is too high.
Yeah, the Royals had an absolutely terrible week, I'll grant you that. Falconer's road starts have been poor. He managed 8 outs last time, gave up 5 earned runs before he got hooked. That was against the Dodgers. The Rockies are 1-11 on the road. 8 of them they got turned over on the handicap. Bubic has been a bright spot for this slump in Kansas City Royals team.
It's him and Reagan. Him and Reagan's are all they got right now.
Yeah, it's really, really poor. And I don't really get it because obviously Bobby Witt looks okay still as well, but it's just everyone around him struggling a little bit. So they did snap that 7-game skid, and they're looking to get back on track. This is the start of a homestand where you've got to give them a chance to get back on track. I won't win any prizes. I've got the Royals run line written down, but might be something like 4-2, something like that. A bit of an ugly one. The under might be the way to go, the same as Scott.
I do want to ask you about Kansas City because you brought them up. I'm trying to think of like if it's one piece or if it's everything that's wrong because they made the playoffs last year. And yes, Baltimore no-showed that entire playoff series offensively, but the Royals won a series and then lost to the Yankees pretty convincingly, but still. I'm trying to figure out how you could actually fix it unless hoping that some guys just show up offensively. Because once again, this team, I understand, was very Bobby Witt dependent last year. Pascatino was pretty solid last year as well. Perez kind of just alternates between good and bad years, and there's no in between. But I do want to ask you because, like, where do you go from here? You're kind of just stuck, and your entire team can't hit besides one guy. I'm just wondering what's the plan because right now I can't back this team with my own money when they can't hit. I agree with you. The Rockies might be the one team I'd rather fade over Kansas City. But, I mean, they walk into 3 or less runs almost every game.
The bottom half of the lineup is weak, really weak. I think maybe they surprised a few people last year. They were very much a bits and bobs team. They didn't have tons of power. Bobby Witt's great. Like you said, the pass squatch and Perez can do stuff. They added Jonathan India, and I thought he'd be good this year because what they didn't have last year was people on base.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonathan India hitting lead off could get on base, and I thought it would help him out a lot. It hasn't. And when that hasn't worked, the bottom of that lineup, Isbell, Waters, Michael Massey, they're all right. They're quite good defensively. But yeah, they just don't blow your skirt up very much. I don't know is the short answer, Scott.
And they also demoted Melendez. They gave up on Melendez already. He got demoted.
Yeah, he's gone. I mean, it's a great looking lineup, rotation, sorry. I love the rotation. And not much on the bench, you know what I mean? It's Mark Canna, Kevin Biggio, people that nobody wanted last year, so I don't know why they would make a difference. It just seems like they've kind of tried to do it on the cheap a little bit, the Royals, and it hasn't worked out for them. We'll move on. Let me tell you about Underdog. Pick him. You can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. Our code here is MLB SGPN. That'll get you a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com. Promo code MLB SGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is live for MLB as well as NBA golf. Build your own model. It's really easy to do that. Couple of great deals at the moment. 25% off a monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25, or use SGPN50 and that gets you 50% off an annual subscription. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Yes, Gio's joined us in the chat. Gio, welcome along. Joins whenever he can now. Appreciate it. 7:40 Eastern first pitch is a good-looking matchup. The LA Dodgers at the Chicago Cubs. It is Dustin May for the Dodgers. Left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga for the Cubs, who are even money at home. The Dodgers minus 120. And the total here is 8.5. Dustin May's looked absolutely filthy in 3 games so far. I really want to follow him. I like him a lot. We've kind of been waiting for this for years. He tends to get on everyone's lips in March and April for the last 3 years and then disappears with some sort of ailment. Imanaga did okay against the Dodgers. That was in Tokyo, if you remember, back in mid-March. His only Wrigley Field start, he gave up 5 earned runs against Texas. Now, he has been good on the road, but I can't get away from that one bad home stat. That, coupled with the fact that I really like Dustin May, a little bit like Christopher Sanchez from earlier on, I'm seeing a picture I really want to get on the right side of at minus 120. And that's going to break the tie for me. Like I say, with that nagging doubt that Imanaga wasn't quite as settled at home last time. So I'll take the Dodgers here at minus 120, although this Cubs lineup is really dangerous, Scott.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think the Cubs are playing well, but I'll go Dodgers at a pretty cheap number. May's been great. Imanaga's been fine, but you forgot to mention that they've already seen Imanaga because they faced off against him in Japan. So I do like the fact they've already seen Imanaga. Didn't go much distance. I don't even know if they got a hit off Imanaga actually in Japan. But I do think it's definitely beneficial to the Dodgers to actually see a pitcher you're familiar with. And you saw him a couple of months, maybe a month ago or so. But I do like that kind of in their back pocket. They have some scouting they can use on him, which I do like. But May's been good. And I feel like when you're looking at a pitcher who had a lot of upside, had some arm issues, had some injury issues, and now he's back, he's been fantastic. So I feel like May has been at least comparable enough to Imanaga, where I don't think there's that big of a drop-off right now. And the Dodgers have seen him before. And they're also the better team, obviously, based on paper. So I'll give the Dodgers in this one. Cubs bullpen and Dodgers bullpen, by the way, have not been that great this season, which could lead for some fireworks late in this game. But the price is too cheap. I think the Dodgers are better than the Cubs, objectively speaking. And I think the pitching matchup's pretty comparable right now. So give me the Dodgers at a pretty cheap money line price with you.
Okay. Ton lovers telling us it might be Steven Matz for the Cardinals tomorrow rather than Andre Palante. So keep your eyes peeled for that change. Appreciate that input. Thank you very much. Next game up is 7:40 Eastern between the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. It is Davis Martin for the White Sox. Bailey Ober has the start for Minnesota. Minus 250 the Twins. Plus 210 the White Sox. Total is 8.5. I can't help but feel, Scott, this is a very big week for the Twins. They have been dog shit. They are 7-15. They were. This is on the back end of being dog shit for 2 months at the end of last season. But they get 3 at home against the White Sox and 3 at home against the Angels. So I feel like they're at a bit of a crossroads. And if they want to right their season, the next 6 nights is a very good time for the Minnesota Twins to do it. Can you see them getting off to a good start here? You've already said you're not keen on the White Sox, Scott.
Well, it's not a hot take to not be keen on the White Sox.
It's
Unfortunately,
not a hot take, no.
I'm not keen on the Twins either. I do want to ask you, though, if the Twins are dog shit, then what are the White Sox? If we're making a comparison here, is that the worst floor? Or is there one floor below dog shit, which is where the Rockies and the White Sox stand? Because you can make an argument there should be another level below that. So I'm just asking, is there a level below what the Twins are?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So what would you call that level if you had to come up with it? Is that the Southampton level? Like, what are you calling it?
Well, yeah, could be.
Okay, so just wanted to ask there. But both teams are horrible. I mean, you said it. Do I want to lay 250 with Ober? No, definitely not. Do I want to back the White Sox? No, definitely not. I'll go for a wrinkle. I'll go with a unique play, I guess. Give me the White Sox team total over. I'll fade Ober in this pitching staff, but damn, I don't really want to back anything involved here. The White Sox team total is going to be, I mean, the totals in this game is at 8.5. So are we getting like 2.5? Is it a juice 2.5 on the White Sox team total? It might be plus money 3.5, but I actually want to check that because if it's at 2.5, I'll take it. There might be some low-hanging fruit, but I mean, these teams are horrible. I mean, these are 2 really, really bad teams, which you make me choose from. Between picking value side. I guess it's the White Sox. I don't want to lay 250 with this terrible Twins team, but for the team total, it is okay. So 2.5's minus 154, 3.5's plus 120. Sure, I'll take a spin on 3.5 at plus 120. But damn, this is a terrible matchup. So I copped out. Give me a team total.
Yeah, that is bad. That 2.5 at minus 154 is horrible. I mean, the key stat I had here, I agree that it's difficult to want to back the Twins, but Ober's 2 good starts have been his 2 home starts, and they've been 2 run line wins against the Mets and the Astros, and that form is fine. If you just want to take a straight form line, horse racing style, absolutely fine, and that's probably good enough for a 2.5 run win. But at minus 150, I think if you wanted to gamble, there's 14 other games on the card. I'm sure you can find something that isn't the Twins minus 3.5 at this. But I can't make a case for anything else. The total might be too high. Ober's been decent at home. I can see them winning. I've written down 5-1, 6-2, and that gets under the 8.5. That might be the way to play this one. Jermaine has joined us in the chat. Jermaine, 34. How you doing? Welcome along. 8:10 Eastern first pitch, the Toronto Blue Jays at the Houston Astros is Chris Bassett for Toronto, taking on Ronel Blanco for Houston. Close on the books, minus 150 in the Astros, minus 105 the Blue Jays. Total is 8.5. Chris Bassett's been absolutely bomb-proof so far. 4 games started, only 2 earned runs. Ronel Blanco's kind of been the opposite. He's 4-2 4-2, 4-3 are the earned runs he's given up. A 148 whip indicates some more underlying issues there. There's really nothing much to choose between the 2 sides in terms of where they are in the standings, what you project for them the rest of the season. I actually prefer how the Blue Jays are playing. I prefer their trajectory. The fans seem a little bit happier. They seem to have a little bit more mojo. Houston just seem a little bit flat at the moment. So behind Chris Bassett, I'll take the Blue Jays. I prefer how they're playing, but Bassett over Blanco, is the handicap effectively. -105, Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Toronto as well. I think Bassett's been great, as you said before. Houston had a pretty good series against San Diego over the weekend, despite losing the last game there, but they still can't really hit, especially at home. And the Blue Jays, they are one of the worst extra inning teams I've seen in a while. Damn, that game against Seattle was horrible on Saturday. But still, I do think the Blue Jays with Bassett have the better pitcher. Blanco's been a mess. And I think you can make the argument Toronto so far this season, at least based on record, they've been the better team. So I'll take even money with the better pitcher and argue with a better team right now. So I like the value on Toronto.
Okay. Dolly Parton is on my TV eating ribs. What do you think of that, Scott?
I don't mind Dolly Parton.
No? And ribs?
I don't mind ribs either.
Fucking what's not to like? It's a great combo.
Is it like a rib advertisement? Is it Food Network, or what's the context behind Dolly Parton eating ribs?
It is a 1980 film called 9 to 5, oddly enough.
Okay, so we're talking about like prime Dolly Parton. I thought you meant like current Dolly Parton. That's why I got really confused.
No, she's in good condition. Three savvy office workers all hate their boss and inadvertently find a way to take revenge on him. Contains adult humour. So it looks like it might be like the OG horrible bosses type thing. So there you go. That's exactly what's going on BBC Two at 11:15 on an Easter Monday.
Wait, is that with commercials?
No commercials on the BBC, Scott.
Okay, I'm making sure, because I would think less of you if you're watching a movie with commercials on TV, because that's just a way to torture yourself.
No, it's BBC. We don't do commercials on the BBC.
There's so many movie channels on, like, the main ones, like TNT, TBS, whatever, and they'll show movies with commercials. And it's like, yeah, you want to watch The Godfather with commercials for 4.5 hours? Like, no, I don't plan on doing that. Every April on ABC, my grandfather would watch the 10 Commandments because of Passover. It'd be on ABC. It's a long movie. With commercials.
That's not a short movie.
With commercials, it's like 5.5 hours, and my grandfather would sit there and watch the entire 10 Commandments with commercials every year. And I'm like, how do you even handle this? So yeah, I'm not a movie with commercials guy, but I wanted to make sure that we're on the same page here.
Me and Barry did the Prem show on Friday morning, Good Friday morning, and King of Kings was on TV, which is pretty the same thing as the 10 Commandments, just a 4-hour epic of Jesus getting hit with stuff. So
that's one way to definitely describe Jesus getting hit with stuff. That sounds about right. Yeah, okay. All right.
But that is pretty much what happened for the entirety. It's been very well. There you go. I enjoyed that little segue. Little detour. Sorry, everyone. 9:38 Eastern first pitch is my Pittsburgh Pirates against the LA Angels. Bailey Falter for the Pirates and Jose Soriano for the Angels. Pittsburgh +140, the Angels -160. Total is 8.5, Scott.
Yeah, so I find this pitching matchup kind of weird because Falter was really bad early on. Then I took James Wood against him, and Falter was phenomenal and gave up 2 hits in 7 innings. So Falter was great last time out. Soriano's kind of had the opposite effect, where he started off the year very well, and then he kind of has regressed. He's given up a ton of contact, a lot of hits allowed the last couple outings, but the problem is Pittsburgh can't hit. Soriano also has an ERA of 8.44 at home, but the last 3 starts, he's given up a total of 20 hits. Gave up 10 hits in 5 2/3 against the Rangers last time out. Only home start the season against the Guardians, 5 1/3, 5 earned, 2 home runs allowed. It's really tough because I don't really trust either pitcher right now, but I trust the Angels offense a lot more than the Pirates offense. But I'm also looking at a -165 price. Screw it. Give me Pittsburgh. They got to win at some point. Give me Pittsburgh in this game.
These prices distressed me a little bit. As you know, I often handicap these games before I see the prices. I thought we'd get the Angels at about -130, and that was going to be my pick. But I can't really take them at -160. And that very much is on the back of fading the Pirates all weekend and winning all weekend. I don't need to do anything different. They don't scare any runs. Bailey Falter had a good start last time out, you're right, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. Soriano was okay. But the Angels are actually better than I thought. And better than most people expected, actually. The Angels are putting it together a little bit. Zach Neto's looks okay. Mike Trout's doing all right. Joe Adele had the 3-run walk-off last night. I bet them last night. I thought I was dead. And Joe Adele hit a 3-run walk-off in the bottom of the ninth. They've started 4-2 at home. So I've got the Angels written down as my pick, but I didn't think they'd be minus 160. So that clouds it a little bit, Scott. I don't know what to do. I'm going to leave it at that. Unit and a half on the Angels. Shop around for a minus 150. 9:40 Eastern first pitch between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We have Zach Littell for the Rays. For the Snakes, it will be Brandon Pfaadt, to our minus 149 favourites. Plus 130 Tampa Bay. And I haven't got a total written down here. Scott, do you have a total at all?
For the total in this game, I see the line set at about 9 flat.
Okay, that's fine. Zach Littell's numbers have been absolutely awful. He was better last time, so he's not without hope. I don't mind him, but his only road start was horrible. 5 earned at Texas. Brandon Pfaadt's now had 2 good starts in a row, and I've got high hopes that he can back that up. I just prefer Diamondbacks are better. I prefer Pfaadt to Littell. Pretty straightforward. It's not a big or clever play. I just want to back the Diamondbacks here in this spot at minus 149, Scott.
By the way, we have some updated news for the Braves. Strider
shoot.
made 1 outing and got injured, so he's going back on the IL. So I don't know who's pitching for the Braves tomorrow now, so we're going to wipe our handicap from the record and we'll reevaluate. But yeah, once again, that was announced, so we'll see what happens. But thank you for pointing that out, Loop. Appreciate it. But, sorry, for this one, I watched Tampa the entire weekend because I'm a Yankees fan. They won the game on Saturday because Devin Williams stinks, but they got outplayed the entire weekend at home. They lost high-scoring games. They lost low-scoring games. They lost in the middle. They couldn't win a damn game, except for Devin Williams giving up 4 runs in the 9th inning, and they won in extras. So I will go with Arizona. I think they're the better team. Tampa, going into the year, I thought they would not hit at all, and they really have not done so. A couple of, once again, games where they've exploded. Had that crazy game against the Red Sox, scored 9 runs against the Yankees over the weekend, that one game. But besides that, a bunch of zeros. They called up one of the fastest guys in the league, though, which is pretty fun.
Yes.
Stevenson, I think, right?
Simpson.
No. Sorry.
No, Simpson's Kansas City guy.
Is it Stevenson?
Can't remember.
Either way, point is the guy steals a bunch of bases. So keep that in mind. That's the most entertaining thing Tampa's got going for him right now. But I do think that the Diamondbacks are the better team. So give me the Diamondbacks. I think they'll win the game. Both pitchers I'm not really thrilled by. Littell was good against the Red Sox, but besides that, hasn't really done much. But I think I'm just looking at what should be a pretty interesting game, but I'll back the better offense. So give me... It is Simpson, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give yourself more credit. You said the Kansas City guy. It is Simpson.
I did. Doubt
so there you go.
Chandler Simpson.
Point is, Simpson's very fast. That's all they got. That's the only entertaining part of their team. Give me the Diamondbacks.
I'm not entirely sure he's ever going to get on base, is the problem there. So he might be fast, but he might just have to get back to the dugout quickly. That might be all we see of that speed.
Do you remember Bubba Thompson?
The name rings a bell. Was he a baseball player?
Yes. He from like maybe a year or two ago. Do you remember what team he might have played for?
Pittsburgh.
No, he was on Texas.
Bubba Thompson.
Same exact player. 9-hitter, could not hit to save his life, but he would steal 50 bases if he got on base enough. That's what this guy is, basically. He's probably a better hitter than Bubba Thompson, but the point is they're both worse versions of Billy Hamilton. But you get what I'm trying to say. That kind of idea, if he gets on base, he's stealing, but can he get on base? That's really the only question you have, but something to keep in mind.
I think we'll see Billy Hamilton on the White Sox at some point this season.
He's already been on the White Sox
up in the middle of the lineup in the middle of August. Yeah. It would not surprise me to see Billy Hamilton's name there. The penultimate game this evening is a 9:45 Eastern first pitch between the Milwaukee Brewers and the San Francisco Giants. It is left-handed pitcher Jose Quintana for the Brewers. Jordan Hicks will go for the Giants. Minus 125 San Francisco, plus 105 the Brewers. I haven't wrote this total down either, Scott. But you can take it away with the Brewers at the Giants.
Okay, so total's at 7.5. For this game, give me the Brewers on the money line. And the wrong team's favored in this game. Both teams have been better recently. I mean, the Giants, we know, have been solid. Milwaukee's been mostly good at home. But Quintana's better than Hicks. And you're looking at Hicks, the main concern he's run into for his entire career since being converted to a starter, he never goes any length. Then randomly, they decided, you know what? We're going to let you go 7 innings and throw 105 pitches against Philly, and we're going to see what happens. And now he pitches again on normal rest. Good luck with that. I think his arm's going to be in potentially shambles. He might feel like Jell-O out there. Quintana's been fantastic. Since the playoffs last year, he's been really, really good. So I'll back Quintana, who I actually like quite a bit. And Milwaukee's been solid recently. Once again, mostly at home, but still. I think Milwaukee should be favored in this game. Give me Milwaukee money line.
So, Scott, if you check that little box there, WTF is what that says.
Okay.
Same note as you. Wrong team favourite. Yeah, Quintana's been great. 2 starts, 12 innings, 1 earned run. Very good. Hicks has been poor. 15 earned in his last 3. 7 walks in his last 2. I also noted that the Milwaukee road record hasn't been great. Just 3 and 6. But this is a good chance for them. Definitely a WTF. I'll take the Brewers at plus 105. And finally, we'll finish off with a 10:05 Eastern first pitch between Bubba Thompson's Texas Rangers and the Athletics left-handed pitcher Patrick Corbin for the Rangers. Osvaldo Bido for the Athletics, minus 125 the A's, plus 105. Texas, I think I just forgot to write down the totals on this last page of notes is what's gone on here.
These totals at 9.5 or 10.
No, that's quite big. No blow up yet for Patrick Corbin is my main takeaway. We used to enjoy Patrick Corbin Day on the show last year. His last start against the Angels was very good. And his career numbers against the A's aren't bad. The A's are hitting lefties well. The A's are hitting 270 against left-handed pitching. And I like Osvaldo Bido. Relatively short starts, but the A's have won 3 out of 4 of them. I think the A's can get to Corbin. I'll take the A's first 5 here, Scott.
Yeah, so the total's so high because it feels like every A's game at home ends up with 15 runs. So it's mostly based on home environment, which is why the total's so high. By the way, I did look up Bubba Thompson's stats. Last year he played for the Reds, but he was on the Rangers for a couple of years. In his entire career, 232 batting average, 27 stolen bases. Last year he batted 111 and he had 5 stolen bases. So there you go. He can't hit, but the guy can steal bases. There you go. So I'll see if Simpson can do the same thing. Anyway, for this game, I'm going to go with the Rangers, actually. I think that the A's are, simply put, not very good. And I do think that the Rangers are the better team. Corbin's been fine. I'm assuming you heard about his insect incident from last week?
No.
No, you didn't hear about that? So,
no.
Corbin was supposed to pitch against the Angels last week at home. He actually pitched very well in that outing. Before the game, he got bit by a spider. And he said that he felt very, dizzy and he felt numb, and he thought he wasn't going to be able to pitch. And then he had his best start of the season, probably his best start in 2 years. So I can't fade Spider-Man. I'm going to back Spider-Man at a pretty good price here. I think that Bito's fine, but Corbin's been pretty good. And I do think that the A's are not a team that I think should be this close on the books to Texas. In fact, they're favored in the game. I don't want to lay 125, 130 with the A's. I just don't want to do it, especially when you're looking at how good the Rangers have been so far this season. The Rangers can't really hit. Pitching, though, has been good, but I do think when you're looking at the actual pricing, the Rangers are the better team and they're getting plus money. That's good enough for me. But I will back Spider-Man, reincarnated. Give me Corbin on the money line at plus 110.
Corbin's origin story. What was the name of that bloke who pitched off his tits on acid in the 70s? Do you remember that story?
Doc Ellis?
Yes, there you go.
Got a no-hitter, yeah. He said I believe according to his story, he thought that the umpire was Abe Lincoln. I think that was one of the quotes from the book. He said he saw 3 batters and he would try to aim for of course, the one in the middle. And I think he said he thought the home plate umpire was Abe Lincoln.
That is absolutely outstanding. Love anything like that. Well, there you go. Patrick Corbin is channeling a little bit of that energy. Scott, would you like to lead us off with your lock and dog for Tuesday's action?
Sure. So for the lock and dog here, once I just marked down the actual timestamp. Okay. I'm trying to think, do I go with the play that I like the most, or should I try to play defense and block the play that you want the most? That's always the fun part of going first. Okay. So for this game, let me just see what I want to go with here. Okay. I think for the actual pricing for this game, I'm going to go with the. I could go with 2+ money plays actually, but you know what? No, I'll go with the Dodgers. With May at -120. I think the price is too short. I understand the argument is the Cubs have been good lately, courtesy of a very crazy series against the Diamondbacks. But I'm looking at May, who's been really good this season. Imanaga's been fine, but the Dodgers have seen him before. The price just feels too cheap to me at -120. I think that you're looking at May, who's been arguably better than Imanaga this season. And Imanaga, once again, I think has sometimes a distance issue, and the Dodgers have seen him already. Give me a cheap number on the Dodgers here, -120 as my lock. For my dog, I will go with, it's either the Brewers or the Nationals. And I know whichever one I don't take, you're going to take. I will go with...
right, yeah.
I know. Those are the two ones that kind of jumped off the page. It's tough to argue with WTF. Yeah, give me the Brewers in this one. I think it's a bad spot for Hicks. He went 7 innings through 105 pitches last time out. Quintana's been fantastic. Milwaukee's been good lately. They called up Durbin to be the new third baseman because Dunn was horrible. So you got a little bit of reinforcements there in the lineup. They steal bases. They've been doing the small things well. Milwaukee, after a really bad start to the season, has been good lately. And the Giants had whatever that collapse was against the Angels yesterday, a courtesy of that walk-off double by Adele. Give me the Brewers on the money line here at a good price. I see around +114 on FanDuel. I like the price. Give me Quintana.
So it's effectively a double dog day because we've got the Brewers and we've got the Nationals. So whichever one Scott didn't take, I'll take Washington. You can't take Kramer. You can't take the Orioles at -135. And I like to get Mitchell Parker on my side wherever possible. So we put the Nationals in for the double dog. For my luck, I've got to go back to the top. The Yankees Cleveland game. That total is way too low. 7.5. The amount of home runs that Tanner Bybee is giving up, and Will Warren slightly concerns you. So I'll take the over 7.5, and I'll stay in that game. And we're talking dingers, 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 dingers. So on the grounds, Bybee can't keep it in the yard. We will have a go with Cody Bellinger or Jazz Chisholm or Austin Wells. Ooh, loads of we can all do it. I'll go with Austin Wells. I like his tash. He can hit one out tomorrow. Austin Wells would be my home run play, Scott.
Yeah, did you also hear of the underrated headline that was going on with Austin Wells this past week?
Oh, no.
So on Instagram, he has a burrito review channel. Wow. And he left one of the lineups because he got food poisoning over the weekend. So he ended up missing one of those games, a late scratch from food poisoning from a burrito review. So there you go. That was a little tidbit there in the Yankees inside. But he's fine now. So once again, just wanted to mention that too. For the home run pick for me, I got a decent amount of choices. I could go with a Kramer fade, which is fine. Martinez has been kind of a mess too. I got some options here, but I think for the sake of this one, you know what? I think I am going to fade Cabrera, who I just think has not been very good. I mentioned a stolen base before, but I do think that he could get into trouble no matter what. Cabrera so far did allow a home run and allowed a home run each of his first 2 starts. And to mention his actual numbers versus lefties and righties. Lefties are batting .280 against him. Give me Ellie for the home run. We saw him hit a homer yesterday against the Orioles. I think it's a good matchup for him. And Cabrera's been giving up hard contact to a lot of people. Give me Ellie to the home run there against Cabrera in Miami.
I tell you who's heating up on the Reds, who's due. Matt McLean has been hitting the ball really hard.
He's a good player. He was never healthy, but he's really good at baseball.
Yeah. but he'll be healthy
Yeah.
tomorrow. And he's been hitting the ball hard without getting his rewards. So that might be an option there. And we are done. A nice solid hour of great MLB chat, according to Kevin. Cheers, Kev. We appreciate that. Thanks, everyone who joined us in the chat. Scott, do you have anything to tell the people about before we let them go?
Yes, I believe we're back again tomorrow. So
Me and
we
you.
get to run it back.
Run it back. Okay.
You can't get rid of me. I'm back tomorrow.
We don't get to relive anything. Smashing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I look forward to it. I'll see what Dolly's up to for the next half an hour before I go to bed. Good luck with all your bets, everybody. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.